Well, it's action in the ring. It's the former Mid-America Television Champion, Steve-O, as he battles Colossal Chris Cane.
Absolutely. Both of these men were involved in title matches at Tennessee Homecoming. As you can see, neither one of them entering this match with gold around their waist, however. Both of them trying to get back up into the ranks of their respective titles, which they are chasing.
Absolutely. Steve-O, we saw on the broadcast last week facing Larry Cooter from Laverne, Tennessee. He is stepping in the ring this week with Cooter's partner, Chris Cane.
The other half of the Cooter-Cane connection, although both of them are also singles wrestlers quite frequently. Chris Cane, the man with the inferiority complex, some say.
And Colossal Chris Cane calls himself the Army of One.
Maybe that's because he just doesn't have anyone that'll go along with him.
Well, I remember years ago, Corey Williams sitting in this very position right here calling commentary and asked Scott Berry, our sometimes colleague, what is it the Army of? The Runt Rangers?
Oh, hot chocolate. He's always got a quip for everybody.
Chris Cane now complaining of a hair pull. However, his hair is so short that I highly doubt Steve-O was able to get a handful of it.
It would take an impressive gripping ability to get a handful of Chris Cane's hair.
Although Steve-O, at this point in his life, might like a handful of Chris Cane's hair.
You know, whatever works for each individual. Just don't let the light shine too bright, I guess.
Shining brightly here is the Nick Gulas Memorial Sports Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, the fairgrounds. It's good to be back home for TV, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely is. After there was some issues in my contract with me working at Laverne, I'm glad to be back here at the Nick Gulas Sports Arena, however.
Well, it was good to have a break from you too, Tyler.
Well, you know, I try to help everybody out and not be around them all too much.
Chris Cane, however, fighting back on Steve-O, a couple shots to the ribs, and the arm wringer applied now by the Colossal One.
Really trying to wrench that arm to get as much leverage as he possibly can. It's a little more difficult for a man of Chris Cane's stature to get the appropriate leverage on a hold like that, because you want to try to get the weight coming from above going down, and Chris Cane has a hard time doing that.
Tyler, are you eating a piece of cake?
As a matter of fact, I am. It's Gypsy Joe's 75th birthday, and we were having a little cake between the last couple of matches.
Unbelievable. The hardcore legend Gypsy Joe turned 75, and Steve-O could have felt 75 if Chris Cane had delivered that maneuver, but Steve-O able to fight out.
I went to get a piece of that cake, and Gypsy Joe gave me this look that made me not want to get into the cake, and then he smiled and said it's okay.
Well, I wonder what Gordon got. You know, they call him the pie guy. Chris Cane.
It's right now, it's Chris Cane who's looking like he's got pie or egg or something on his face.
Chris Cane out of the ring.
Nothing he's been able to do has been effective.
And Steve-O follows behind. A forearm to the back of Chris Cane now, and he shoves him back into the squared circle.
Certainly has been an interesting broadcast thus far, Jason. What with the tirade from someone who's, people say I'm partial to, Sean Schultz, and then the dastardly acts of Charmin Charles and Brian Casey. We've seen a little bit of everything so far. But as I understand it, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as the broadcast goes on, starting with this. Got two legitimate title contenders here in NWA main event, duking it out for a shot to climb the ladder.
And Chris Cane off now and delivers that boot right to the chest of Steve-O, and Steve-O goes down hard.
You can only call the offense of Chris Cane unorthodox, but it was
absolutely
effective. It was effective in that exchange.
And Chris Cane now, the Colossal One, trying to roll Steve-O over. He does so. Steve-O flat on his stomach, and Chris Cane, and a falling headbutt right on to the former Mid-America Television Champion.
A cover here from the largest man in professional wrestling, and Steve-O able to get a foot on the rope. What do you think about that claim, Jason? The largest man in professional wrestling.
Well, folks, don't adjust your TV sets. Tyler Clemens is only joking as Chris Cane stands an astonishing 4'11". I think he's more like 5'4", but
maybe
nonetheless.
So.
And a pin attempt, Steve-O able to kick out.
Steve-O certainly been noted for his resiliency in the past, showing it once again, able to kick out after Chris Cane has given him everything he can throw at him.
Chris Cane now, you can tell a little bit of frustration building as he has not been able to put Steve-O out of this contest. Off of the ropes. And there's that running splash we have seen, that running senton from Chris Cane. Pin attempt, no. Steve-O roll up, 1, 2. And no, he's not able to get the win either.
That frustration you were talking about, Jason, it's almost commonplace for the opponents of Steve-O. Because of that resiliency, it's so difficult to put away his opponents. Whether it's Shane Smalls, as has been many times in the past, Chris Cane, Jeff Daniels, anybody, you can see the frustration mount as the match goes on.
Off of the ropes again goes Steve-O, duck of the clothesline, duck of the elbow. Steve-O off the opposite side, flying forearm, and both men are down.
Steve-O diving in with that forearm, and as you said, it could be a battle of who gets to their feet first.
Both men are down, both men trying to fight back up at the Nick Goulas Sports Arena in Nashville.
Both men are up. Chris Cane misses with his offensive maneuver, and a flurry from Steve-O. The combination sends him down 2, and
no, not able to get it. Steve-O still on his journey to put Chris Cane away. He has not done so at this moment.
And then a thumb to the eye stops every bit of momentum that the former TV champion had. Chris Cane just leveled the playing field.
Wait a minute.
Roll up. No, 1.
Cane hooks the ropes. No! Cane has just hooked the ropes. And he's...
What can you say? He used the leverage, every bit of leverage he could find, unfortunately.
Chris Cane has just hooked the ropes on Steve-O, and he comes out your victor in this contest.
Chris Cane is your winner, folks. We'll be back with more action. Don't go anywhere.